Yoga Plus. Download now for free.
Hey yogis, it's Julia. I'm so glad that you're here. Today I have a yoga core circuit for you. So we're going to do a lot of yoga moves, but we're specifically going to address our torso. We're going to get in work that helps us stabilize our spine, build a really strong core so that we feel awesome on the yoga mat. And we also feel like we're a little more stable and a little stronger off the yoga mat as well. We're going to start standing. As we go through some of these postures, unlike a regular yoga class, we're going to pause in a few exercises and do repetitions like you might find in a fitness exercise. So as you go through the reps, do as many as you can with good quality. And if you ever need to pause and come back in, that's totally fine. So let's just start with some Sun A warm-ups to let our spine and our muscles get warm before we move into some repetition. So reach on up, take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, fold. In this first fold, take it like a ragdoll style. So really bent knees, long length all the way down through your neck and your head. You can shake it out, let go of anything that's built up, any tension in your face and your jaw and your shoulders. Good. Keep your knees slightly bent. On your next breath in, come to a halfway lift. So with the knees bent, we're still taking some time to open up through the hamstrings and through the low back, but really focus on a nice long spine in this first halfway lift. As you spend a couple breaths here, draw the belly in and move the chest forward. When we think about our core, it's not just our abs, it's also our back body and our side body, everything that helps us stabilize our spine during a static hold and also during movement. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, plant your hands. We'll come to our first high plank here. So in high plank, bring your shoulders over your wrists, ignite your legs so you're pressing back through your heels and pulling forward through your heart and your head. Think about being one long, unbroken line so your butt's not coming up and you're also not sagging down, but you're nice and strong through the middle. Good. Take another breath here and then lower all the way to your belly. Throughout today's practice, we're always going to come down to our belly to reset. Loop your shoulder heads back and untuck your toes. Lift up through a little baby cobra to start. Hug your arms in. Move your chest forward. Keep your gaze forward. Take one more breath in. And on your exhale, rock back to a child's pose. So bring your knees wide. Drop your belly down between your thighs. Rest your forehead. One breath in, one breath out. Great. On your next inhale, come to tabletop, hands and knees. Tuck your toes, push back to downward facing dog. First down dog, you can pedal out your legs, root down through your hands. And then when you come into stillness, spin the inseam of your thighs back, press your heels low. Allow your neck to be long in between your upper arm bones. And continue to breathe 2 more times in and out. Good. On your next breath in, look forward. Let's take it breath to movement. Step to the top of your mat as you exhale, bow your head. Halfway lift, move your chest forward, lengthen your spine. Your hands can come to your shins if that's a better place for you. Forward fold as you exhale, drop your head. Stand all the way up, reach up through your fingers, and exhale, fold all the way back down. Halfway lift your chest. Inhale, and then exhale, plank all the way down to your belly. Take a little cobra pose, lift, and then a child's pose to rock it back, hips to heels. Right away, tabletop. In breath, lift. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Couple breaths in, couple breaths out. So let's take one more Sun A. On your inhale, look forward. As you exhale, step to the top of your mat and fold. Halfway lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Forward fold, bow all the way down. Stand up, inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold, bow from your hips. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, high plank, step back. lower down. Good. A little cobra pose, lift your chest. You can use your hands just a bit here. And then as you exhale, shift back, child's pose. So just coming into child's pose each time through. Inhale to table and exhale to downward facing dog. So that little ditty of going to child's pose, tabletop, back to down dog just allows you to release some tension in your hips and gives you a nice sensation of resetting. Good. So we'll work into our first core exercise with some repetition, and we'll move from plank. So if you notice at any point you need to drop down to your knees to reset your shoulders, feel free. So as you come into plank, bring your feet about hips width distance, and you're going to want to be able to rock on your feet. So if you have any ankle issues, just hold a high plank and work with some shoulder taps. Otherwise, start by just rocking your heels and feel that stability. You want to keep your hips up high. Good. From there, we'll add in. So rock your heels over to the right, pick up your left hand, touch your left hip, and then place your hand back down, come through the center, do the other side. Rock, touch your hip, come back down. Great, so let's do 8. As you rock side to side, keep the integrity of a plank with you. Good. You've got 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Good, and then lower all the way down. Little cobra pose, lift it up. And then find that reset button, back to child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Inhale, wave forward to plank pose. Find that setup. And let's go for 8. Tap your hip as you rock to either side. So that hand that's grounded is really stable. But it's your core that's keeping you upright and involved. So no saggy booty here. Good. You got 2 more. 2, 1. Come back through the center. Lower down. Cobra pose, lift, and rock it back, child's pose. Big exhale on the way out. Good. Inhale to table. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Good. Last one. Rock forward to plank. Set up a really strong plank. Last 8, let's make them your best. Rock your heels to the side, tap your hip. Notice as you're moving side to side that you're really opening up all the way. So pull back. You might even feel your shoulder blades squeeze together a little bit behind you. Keep on going. You can always drop down to your knees when you need to. Take 1 more. And lower. Good. Big breath into cobra. Breath out to child's pose. Let's pause there for a moment just to collect the breath. So let's take 2 more breaths. Last one. Wide open exhale. Feels really good. Just to reset the breath. And let's keep going. On your inhale, come to tabletop. Tuck your toes. Exhale to downward facing dog. Let's loosen up those hips. Get off our wrists for a moment. On your next inhale, step just your right foot forward. Find a lot of stability through the back leg. And then lift forward and up. Rise to crescent. So in this high crescent, engage your back leg a lot. You'll feel a release up through your hip flexor and press down through your front heel so you have a lot of stability through the legs. Pull the front ribs in, and then all of that you collected into the spine, lift up out of the heart. Good. Take 1 more breath in. On your exhale, come to warrior 2. Take your hands through heart center, spiral the back heel down, and then wing the arms out. Gaze over your front hand, and allow the rooting of your feet to be strong. So you're getting your legs involved here. A lot of lift through your spine. Good. On your inhale, reverse your warrior. Big stretch up through the side body. On your exhale, come through extended side angle.
Settle here for a moment. Pull the bottom waist nice and long. Reach out through the top arm, and then open the chest to the side. Good. Root down through the feet. On an inhale, reach all the way up to star pose. And on an exhale, you're going to flip warrior two. We're going to get both sides for a second. Root down through your legs and your feet. Push back through your back heel. Good. Now flip your palm, find your reverse. Don't worry, we'll pick up that crescent on the other side. And on your exhale, come to extended side angle. If you're one of those people, you're like, it's got to be exactly the same on both sides, right? Like, where did it go? I know. Our brain will do that to us. We start to count how many more reps. Instead, just focus on your breath. Good. Come back up all the way to star pose, and then squat down into a horse. So tail gets really heavy. Let your knees widen out. And as they do, take your goddess arms. Good. So we're going to work from goddess into side bend. So you're going to feel a lot of activity in the side body, and then we're going to also incorporate some movement in our legs. So at any time, if you need to reduce the range of motion, feel free. All right, to start, get really low, and then dip over, elbow to your knee, come back up, switch, take it to the other side. So as you're side bending, just do that again, once on each side. Notice that the depth in your legs doesn't change. Great, so let's add on from there. Take a side bend, and then stand up, twist, elbow to knee, and come back down. So I did it real slow motion. As you start going a little faster, you'll pick up momentum. Side bend, side bend, side bend. Stand up, elbow to knee. Good. Side bend, side bend, side bend. Stand up, elbow to knee. Good. Keep on going. And notice that as you come back down, you're going to come into your squat. Any point you need to take an element out, feel free. That cross-body action is super duper challenging, but it's so important for starting to build stability as well as agility in our yoga poses, especially our flow, where we're moving. We're not just staying static in a posture. So feeling really stable helps us have confidence, and it protects us. Good. Let's take one more on each side. Last one. Awesome job. Good. Come up to star pose. Ooh, give those legs a little bit of relief. Draw your hands to your heart. And then we'll take that crescent that we need to catch up on the other side. So turn. Back heel's going to pivot up. Take a really long stride and then reach up. Good. As you strengthen the back leg, notice a release through the hip. Reach up through your fingertips. Good. Big breath in. On your exhale, bring yourself back to plank. Hold plank here. Allow your body to burn it out. Take one more breath in. Good. And then release down to your knees. Interlace your fingers and give your wrists a break for a moment. Good. You might notice here you need to catch your breath. That cross-body motion can really get your heart rate going. Take a few deep breaths, especially some open mouth exhales, and that'll help you reset just a little bit. Great. So our last exercise in this yoga core circuit is a play on side plank. So we've already done a little bit of work in side plank, and this one we're going to set up. But as we set up, it might feel new to you if you've never done a side plank this way. So always working on stability first before you add in any speed. All right. So start in a tabletop. You're going to open up to a supported side plank and take this top foot and step it in front of you so you can extend the bottom leg out. So just like a side plank, but instead of your feet stacked, the top leg is in front of you. So when you looked on your mat, the foot's about halfway between the top and bottom of your mat, so you have a lot of stability, and you really want to be able to get your whole foot on the ground, because this is actually the leg that's going to be supporting you, and this bottom leg is going to be the one that's moving. So bring your hand behind your head. Start by just taking your elbow up and then rotating your heart, your torso down, and come back up. So that's the first part of the movement. And if this is what you want to work on, just finding that rotation, you are totally fine and getting a great core workout just staying there. Otherwise, push a lot through this front leg and your grounded hand to lift your butt in the air just a little bit. Then draw your elbow towards the floor, pick up that bottom leg, and crunch an elbow to a knee. Good. On the inhale, open it back out. On your exhale, hug it in. Lengthen and squeeze. So remember what's grounded. You still have 2 points of contact on the ground, a lot of stability. You can do it. Remember to open all the way back up as you come through. Good. Take 2 more on this side. Last 2. Last 1. Nice work. Drop down. You're going to bring this bottom knee to the outside of the front foot and take a little bit of a twist. So inhale, reach up and turn. Continue to lift up through your spine, and in this moment, think of it like an active rest, slowing down the heart rate, catching your breath. Good, so let's take that on the other side. So again, we're gonna set up, start in a little tabletop. So from your tabletop, bring your foot halfway up the mat. The rest of the body goes into side plank. So remember, your points of stability are opposite hand and foot. Bring your top arm up, and then fingertips behind your ears. Push through this foot. So if you need to find stability first, feel free to work with how far up and down the mat your foot is. This is the leg that's holding you. Lift your butt up, take a breath in. Start by just turning the torso, bring the elbow down, and then add the knee. Good. Inhale, open all the way back up. Exhale, add the knee. Good. Open and lift. So this leg that's moving, it's not bearing any weight. So you might even notice that this is not only good for your core, this leg that's grounded, this butt cheek's getting a big workout. Good. Stay with it. Couple more. Last 2. Last 1. Whew. Drop down to your bum. Bring this bottom knee to the outside of your foot. Lift up. And then let's twist. So for me, when I twist, totally different experience side to side. On one side, I can hook my elbow really easily and get a big twist. On this side, I can't do that. So often, I'll either hook my elbow as far as it's gonna go, or I'll wrap. And then that allows me to lift my chest and turn. So this idea that we are supposed to be symmetrical, or that that's a goal, please toss that in the garbage. We don't use our bodies symmetrically during the day. I think you drive with a different foot, right? Than you do maybe writing with a different hand. And this idea that your twist has to be same side to side, nah, not at all. Instead, just look for a nice rotation with a tall spine. Excellent. Come back through the center. So let's come on down to our backs and find a little bit of release. So roll on down. You can keep your knees bent. Bring your body to the floor. Start with your feet a little wider. Let the knees knock in. We're gonna keep our feet wide. A big part of our core is also our psoas and our hip flexors. They essentially make sure that stability happens in the spine when you're moving your legs. So we want to release those bad boys before we get settled into Shavasana. Keep your feet wide. Drop your knees to the right. Engage your left glute. So our glutes and our hip flexors are working together. They do opposite jobs. So when you engage one, it releases the other. Think about your knee being heavy. Push a little bit through the left heel, like you're trying to flex your toes back towards your knee. Engage your left glute, and you're gonna feel a nice big release. Good. Keep the feet wide. Switch your knees to the other side. So now on this side, you can actually see that it's the entire leg that's getting activity to release the front side. So press a little bit through the heel, engage the glute. Think of it like you're trying to lift the hip point up just a bit, just a little bit. So you might not see motion, but you're gonna feel sensation, the sensation of release. And then just adding that extra little bit of pressure through the heel is going to create more engagement. Good. Fantastic. Come back through the middle. Now you're gonna bring your feet together. Your knees will be wide. And for this Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle, I want you to send your heels a little bit farther away from you than you normally do and allow your spine to have its natural low back curve. Take goddess arms. So it almost feel like you're doing a back bend on the ground here. No pressure in the lumbar spine, just think of it like natural curve. Good. Use your hands to close your knees. And we're going to take our Shavasana with our feet a little bit further away from our bum, knees knocked in. So now your low back's getting nice and long and your arms out like an A-frame. Focus on breathing really slow here. And if it helps your concentration, close your eyes. When we think about our core, we think about empowerment and feeling fit to the task, strong, capable, but then also agile. A strong core doesn't mean that you're solid like a rock, but rather it means you have fluidity. And when you move, your body naturally is able to absorb shock and transfer load and keep you light on your feet. So if you're noticing sensation, residual sensation in the midsection, residual sensation in the legs, residual sensation in your lungs or in your hip flexors, let that be a signal of work and effort that you've put in. And the opportunity then is gratitude. Gratitude for a body that moves. And take one more breath in and out. Good. The knees come into the chest. Give it a big squeeze. Great. Roll to your side. Press yourself up.
So sometimes after big effort, it kind of feels like, for me at least, like I'm emptying my tank, but not in a bad way. Not like, oh, I'm depleted, but rather like, oh, I had a lot of tension, or my head was really full. And then after I do a little bit of work, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel lighter. I feel actually more energized. So I hope you feel that way. When it comes to core strength, it's a tricky subject. You know, we think I can just do a zillion crunches, but that's really not gonna get you to where you need to be. It's work like this, where we're working on stability and we're working on staying stable through transition. That's the stuff that's really gonna pay off. So thank you so much for sticking with it, especially if these new moves were brand new to you. They probably were. That's fine. Readdress them, come back to them over and over, and you're gonna notice that you're getting stronger every single day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, namaste.
Hey, it's Julia, and welcome to my 30-day Yoga for Weight Loss program. I've designed this program to help you live more optimally. In addition to 30 days of yoga, you will find bonus tips and homework assignments at the end of each video to help you stay on track.
You did it!
In fact, we've created a really balanced program. This means you are going to be addressing all aspects of your well-being, from your physicality all the way to how are you feeling mentally and emotionally throughout the entire 30 days. We're starting right here from the ground on up to build a practice that you can sustain day in, day out for your whole life. But let's just start with 30 days. I can't wait to get started with you, and I'll see you on your mat. Available now on Amazon and on wellnessplus.tv.